guys, just wanted to make a quick video on making a bunk bed. So I saw a couple videos on the twin size bunk beds, but my boys are getting bigger, so I do want them to be as comfortable as possible. So I'll be building a full size bunk out of 2x4s and 2x6s. Now I do have a couple of saws, but this project can be done with just a circular saw and a couple of jigs. The main thing, I want a clean look, so I don't want any bolts or screws showing, and I'll be joining the boards with a Craig jig. Whoa. This is my Craig jig and the 2.5 inch pocket hole screws. So I've already cut my bed box. The long side is 78 inches and the width will be 54 inches. And I did complete one of my bed boxes already, so I'll go ahead and join this other side. I went ahead and cut the support for the mattress, cut that to 75 inches to fit the inside of the bed box, and drilled all the holes. So now I'll go ahead and glue it. And I cut this out of a piece of scrap 2x4, so it's kind of ugly, but it doesn't matter because it's on the inside of the bed frame. So I'll go ahead and attach it now. Make sure it's all lined up on the edges. Go ahead and drill it, and then you'll screw it starting from the inside, working your way out. So I'm gonna go ahead and secure the 2x4 to the 2x6, and you want to make sure that you do run a nice bead of glue in between the pocket screws, just because, I mean, my boys are crazy and they like to jump off of things, so I do not want this coming apart ever, and this will help make sure that it lasts. As you can see, all the holes are cleaned out, and there's actually a little pilot hole down in the hole, so you put the preset all of your screws just to make it a little faster, just like that, and send them all home. I went ahead and attached the leg post, so is a 2x4 attached to a 2x6, and with the pocket screws. Now this is specifically measured so that either the bed frame here or the ladder coming across will cover these holes. Like I said, I don't want any holes, exposed, any screw heads, anything showing. And I just wanted to show how easy it is to use this Craig jig, because this thing is amazing. My last project, I had purchased this from Amazon. This is like a knockoff version of the Craig jig. And, usually I go for, cheaper stuff. If it has good reviews, whatever. And this thing had fine reviews. I don't know if the holes aren't lined up properly or what, but you can see like where the metal came out, and it was a hassle. I thought pocket holes were not the way to go, but this thing is amazing, and it's kind of hard to do one-handed, but I just wanted to show you how easy this is. Just insert all the way down, and out. And I mean, it's really that simple, and it has preset measurements. I don't know if you can see those, but it has preset measurements, so you can slide this up or down just depending on your board width or exactly where you need the hole. But yeah, and you want to make sure you get all the debris out, blow it out so that when the screws go in, they sit flush. The flat head on the screw sits flush in the hole, and that way it grabs tight and it'll never come loose. Went ahead and tacked together one side of the bunk bed just to make sure it's level. These two in the center are the ladder, part of the ladder. So the top bunk will be here, bottom bunk here, and those will both serve as ladder as well, so you can climb all the way to the top. And then across the top I will put a guardrail as well, just to make sure they don't fall out in the middle of the night. I clamped everything in place, Finished putting these boards on. Everything is level. She's nice and level. And then yeah, all the way around. So that's the frame clamped in place. Now I just gotta cut the slats that go across. They're cut at 54 inches and I put 8. So I'm gonna use a spacer to make sure they're evenly spaced, the weight is evenly distributed, and then I'll go ahead and do the top. Well, I still need to cut the support for the top bunk, and just a 2x. I'm gonna cut that in half also with the table saw, just glue it and screw it, and that'll help me guide the bunk when I go to set it up in the room. I decided to move the project outside. I'd rather be in the pool over there, but we got work to do sanding these. Nothing better than turning a solo project into a family fun activity. Are we having fun, boys?
Yeah.
All right, teamwork. Basically, we're just trying to remove any grains. If you can see any of the rough stuff and any markings, want to take those off. Just make sure there's no splinters, anything like that. No possibility of splinters when they're climbing up and down. So this is that same board, all sanded, nice and smooth, no rough edges. Took that stamp off, and also you're trying to round the edges. Keep losing focus, but you're trying to round the edges. I mean, it's a little sharp, so you want to make sure when they're, you know, hands and feet, it's not too sharp on there. So I got the frame all put together, and I skipped over the staining, but I used a dark walnut polyurethane. Not the best lighting in here, but I don't know if you can see that. Went around, checked all the boards, made sure everything is level, every side square. Just gotta put the slats and then the mattress. And so to connect the bed box, used 6 screws on the 2x6 side, and then 3 screws on the 2x4 side. And then again, these will all be covered by the mattress. So same for the top and every corner. And then I'll go ahead and put the slats and then the mattresses, and they can test it out. So this is the bed completed, everything put together. Correction, I originally said 8, so I did go with 10 of the mattress support. It just seemed better weight distribution, and these are 4 inches apart. For this post, originally the top of the ladder I was going to put up here, but it just seemed when he was climbing over, it's a lot easier for him just to get into his bed like that, and it works as a good hand grab when he comes down. And these posts for the side rails, I did put 5 screws, so those are the only screws visible on the bed is for the posts. And again, those are on the inside of the bed, so you can't really see them. Everything on the outside of the bed, there's no holes, there's no screws, there's nothing. So from here, I mean, really, you're not looking at any joining hardware. I've jumped up here, plenty of headroom, so it's always a good idea just to make sure they're not going to hit their head, because I didn't have the exact measurements of how tall I wanted to make the bed. And I believe, if not, I'll put it in the description of the video, but I believe this is 3 feet from the bottom bunk to the top. And I can sit in here as well, read stories to them, so plenty of room for everybody. Overall, I'm really happy with how this bed turned out, and the boys love it. So I hope this video helped you with your bunk bed, or maybe just inspired you to go build something. But this is my first YouTube tutorial, so I did miss a few build shots and some dimensions, but I will try and put those in the description. Any questions or something I missed, you know, please leave it in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you. Or feel free to just roast me in the comments, because I could always use a good laugh. Anyway, thank you for watching, and hope to see you in the next one.